Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Cool. So we'll leave that focused. You can see the browser thing on the Google Hangouts, eh? And the Cloud9.
Let's just check. Yeah, can see that.
Okay, cool. All right, so do you want to kick off the first one?
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's get my bearings. Okay, so define method. Takes an array of integers. Okay, so div
Yeah, so it has to be called sum.
Yeah. Sum, and it takes some array.
I wonder if there's a way to change the number of tabs and spaces and stuff. I think I see it here. No. Yeah, it's over there. Okay, it doesn't matter. I suppose it's irrelevant for this exercise. Go for it.
Okay. Alright, so like do a each, or what do you think? Or just a for loop?
I was thinking maybe you can use the reduce function for that. That would make more sense. Then you don't have to have a counter. The iteration thing itself will take care of counting for you.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. So do you want to?
All right. So you'll say map.reduce. Yeah. Okay. So basically, you'll say map.reduce. So if you say it like this, sum and the num. Okay.
Yeah.
So sum is the counter, right? So each time it iterates through the array that gets passed to it, it will go through that whatever value will get pushed into num, and whatever gets returned from the last iteration is what gets put into sum.
Okay.
So what we can do as well, because sum at this point, especially when you starts off as nil. So if you do that, so you say reduce with and starting with the value 0, then sum starts with the value 0, right?
Okay.
So for this example, basically what we need to do is go sum, return sum plus num.
Okay, yeah, so it'll go add it all time, and then that is the argument to the next sort of iteration of reduce. Okay, that makes sense.
So if the array was 1, 2, 3, actually maybe we can run it in here. Let's just check.
Yeah, can we do a little test?
Can you see me typing there on the bottom?
No.
On the console.
No, I don't see. Maybe if you press enter or something.
I don't know if you can share terminals. It doesn't look like it. But look, so let me just do this rather. So if you can you run the console on your side? Is the terminal open?
Yes, it is open.
Okay, let's just do this quickly. So if we say puts sum, that should output 6, right? So if you run part 1, if you go ruby part1.rb in your console, you'll see that it will run that and output that part. See, it outputs 6 if you run that script now.
Okay, let's try that. Part1.rb. Yes. Okay, cool, nice.
Cool. Right, let me just take this out. I think you will want to. Why don't you do the next one then?
Okay. Okay, let me give that a try. Okay, so a method max to sum, which takes an array of integers. So int array. And we want to return the sum of the largest two.
Yeah. So it's again another classic reduce thing I think we can use here.
Okay, so let me try that. So
do this while you're busy there.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So int array reduce let me just keep that out loud. So we'll have, are we going to do it twice to get the maximum one and then remove it, or are we going to, can we have sort of two arguments, sort of the largest and the second largest?
Well, I think what we can do here, let me just test something quickly on the console while you're writing that out. Just want to make sure I've got myself right here. If we go, don't reduce 0. There is no symbol.
I'm not sure it is a. All right, let's something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's just exit on that. So if we have a look here, int array.reduce, right? Again, because if you look at the other part of the question, it says for an empty array it should return 0, right?
Yeah.
So I think maybe we'll need to start with the value 0 as well.
Okay.
So it returns the sum of its two largest elements. So maybe the first element, let's give them like symbolic names, so it should make it easier to like work out what the hell we're trying to do in our heads. So the first value in the pipe brackets here, we can maybe call it max sum.
Yeah.
And then the other one you can just call it num, right? Because that's the next num that we'll get out of the array. So the idea is that we're supposed to take. Hang on, let me just think this one through a little bit. Because you want to pass through the sum of its two largest elements. Okay, that should be easy enough, right? Because then we just keep adding the two together until we get back. No, that's not going to work.
Yeah, with the reduce, the thing is that we only have this one sort of pipeline. Otherwise, let's just keep it simple and get the max one, remove it from the string, from the array, get the max one again.
Maybe we need to, instead of doing this, so maybe we should do it this way rather. So the previous num, I'm just trying to just use descriptive names here so we can know what we're doing. And we have the sum up here, which is equal to 0 initially, right?
Yeah.
And then we add, so it's going to iterate through each number, and we push the previous number down into the reduce here.
Yes.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, but then at the end, what are we going to have then? Because then we're going to have to choose between the two numbers. So
no,
I can understand.
The sum of the two largest elements, right? So we need to add the elements together. If it's if it's the largest sum, then it needs to get pushed back as a result.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so basically something like if well, okay, we can probably sum it here, so we can have new sum equals previous num plus num if new sum. Am I on the right track now?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, new sum, well no, sum equals new sum. If it's not bigger,
that's fine, then we just leave it alone. Because remember, if you give it an empty array, it must return the value 0. So if you reduce an empty array, it's never going to iterate, and it's just going to return sum, which is 0.
Okay, but now we want to update previous num for the next iteration. So
yes, so you'll pass num to it.
So it's just num. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be sort of like shifting the numbers in and out of the thing as we go through until we get to the last number.
Okay, I'm just thinking. Let's say we have an array of 10 things. And the first and the last number is the biggest and the second biggest. So then we'll get the first one plus it
Well, let's
by.
do this.
I don't think that's going to work as it is for some reason. Because we're just testing consecutive numbers, not.
That should give us 7 plus 7, which is equal to 14, right?
Yeah.
Let's just put that to the screen. Okay, let's try run that and see what we get. We got 10. Yeah. Oh, you're right.
It's just doing consecutive ones the whole time.
Yes.
It's not doing a sort of global search.
Okay, so I think what we actually need to do here is say, so we need to say num is greater than previous num. So if a number is greater than the previous number, return num, else return previous num.
Okay,
I don't know if this is a neater solution, but I think that should work. Yeah, that works.
Okay,
run a couple more tests there if you want.
Yeah, maybe add like a 10 in here.
So now that should give us 17 now. If you save
Yeah.
that.
Does it give you 17?
Hang on a second, just save it. Yes, it does.
Yeah, that works.
Cool.
Okay.
The only other thing I'd like to do is this over here, just to make it a bit more concise and short. You can use it like a ternary logic thing. Maybe leave a space there to make it obvious.
Just, sorry, you killed that example there. I just want to test another case.
Okay.
What is it? Max to sum. Something like this, right? So let's say we have 10, 20. Okay, now it'll work. Now
That should give us 30, right?
Yeah, just save that again. Yeah, okay, cool. No, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Alright. Okay, so shall we make use this last one? Yeah, I can now drive this one and you can be the strategist.
I mean the moaner, the complainer.
Yes. You're more than welcome to. So sum to n takes an array of integers, right? Just for lack of a better name. I don't know why it's highlighting all our stuff there, eh? It's a bit weird. You see how it's putting everything in red and orange? Anyway.
No. Sorry, it's just Rudy.
What's wrong?
Okay, well, let's try and figure this one out.
Okay.
So define a sum which takes an array of integers and an additional integer, n.
Then through any two distinct elements in an array into sum to n. Okay, so we get n, which is so I think we can call that n, maybe. I don't know. And so then we want to see if any two elements equals n. So I think it's pretty much the same that we had.
Okay, I'll leave it like that. Looks a bit more obvious.
Yeah, instead of, okay, that's fine. Instead of testing for if it's bigger than sum, we just test is it equal to n, and if it is, then return true.
The problem is that it depends on the value. That, you know, I mean, like I was thinking maybe we could make use of max to sum, but we can't, because the n might not be necessarily the max number that it returns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, max. No, I don't think we can reuse that one. But I mean, the exact same logic that we have in there. Instead of testing, doing that if new sum larger than sum, because it is a sum of two numbers. Okay, but yeah, it might be tricky because no, that won't work because we're looking here at, you know, the way we pass things along in max to sum is that we're just checking for the biggest ones the whole time, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Find sum to n, which takes an array of integers and an additional integer n as arguments and returns to any two distinct elements. Return in the array of integers sum to n.
I think we must just do 2 loops over it, and
Can't we use the same concept of the loops? Well, we start off reduce with a null value. So that has the first element, and that one has the next element, right?
yeah,
Sorry, let's do that. Been writing too much CoffeeScript lately, I think. Like that, right? So if
those
this
2 equals num,
strong to do it that way. So I'll explain to you now. So because we need to start off the array, right? The first time we're going through this reduce thing, we don't have a first val. So if the first val is null, just pass the next val through, and then we can now, if first val is not null, then we're already on the second value we've got 2 values for the comparison, right? So now we can sum them together and return true if first val plus next val equals int, right?
Okay.
If and then of course we return next val here in case it needs to iterate again. And then right at the end we return false, right? In the case where nothing matches. That is what that thing is saying we must do, right?
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to work. Let's a test.
All right. You want to write the test?
Yeah, I'll write the test. Sum to n some array.
Remember to leave a yeah, if you don't leave a space, I know in Ruby it's like.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, like that's cool. Carry on.
So the int will say be 5. And it'll say 1, 1, 1. 4, 1, 1. Okay, no, that's a bad example. Let's say 6, 7.
Yeah, that should never ever add up to 5.
Yeah, accidentally. Okay.
Don't forget the comma over here.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Oh, sorry. I'm driving when I should be driving. Sorry.
Okay, that looks good. Let's run it.
Okay, it returns false.
Okay, but it's not. Okay, so as I understand it, that it should have seen that 1 and 4 can
no,
return
but
5.
it's through. Is it every single distinct value? Oh, any 2 distinct elements. You're right. I wasn't seeing that part.
We don't have
So we have to iterate through the first value and iterate through it again.
So yeah, let's just keep this logic and then just do another loop of that.
No, this logic is not right either. What we actually need to do, yeah, we mustn't use a reduce on this one. I think we should just use a simple each, because we're not expected to return a value of any sort. So choose each, right? Like that. So now we need to sum this with another one, but not on the same value.
Yes. But it can have the same value. It must not just not be the same element.
Yes.
So
how the hell do we differentiate between the two?
We have to have the index of that array. So we need to know what the index are. Is it index 1 or 5 or something like that?
Hang on a second, let me just go onto the console here. I think there's an each index, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there is. Each index.
Each with index, that's what it's called. And I think that, let me just check here.
Yeah, okay.
Just 1 second. So the index, yeah, that's right. So we have the value first and then the index next. So it's like this. Right? And then we can just do it again. And as long as the indexes don't match, we can do this the comparison.
Yes.
So we go again into
So that'll be, say, index 1, and then the other one will be index 2.
val 1 as well, right? So we need val 1 and index 1.
Yeah.
And val 2. Index 2. And this. So we want to do a comparison if they're equal to each other, right?
Yeah.
True return, true if. And at the end of this, we return false if.
Yeah.
If we don't find any matches.
Yeah.
Right to you?
That looks good.
Let's try your test again.
True.
Yes. Let's put the condition where they could never add together.
Yeah. Just make this like 20 or something.
If you make them all 5, like that, if you leave it up, yeah, we can do that one next. Yeah, that returns false.
Cool.
5 does make 10, and there is one that could make 11, or 12, should I say. Yeah, okay, I think this looks good, eh?
Yeah, that looks good to me.
Cool. Alrighty. So I think, yeah, I think that's it for the first session, huh?
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, wait, don't go
Nelson,
yet. Let me just,
that I did there.
yeah. Let me just stop the broadcast quickly.